This is absolutely shocking. We are getting some up-close personal video footage of inside the Cybertruck, and I think a lot of different aspects are different than what we may have thought, like the rear view mirror. Well, it's not a mirror, it's a camera. It's like a live feed of what's behind you. The Cybertruck bed is also pretty impressive, as well as the interior console. And I think judging off of the way these individuals that are riding in the Cybertruck are interpreting the Cybertruck is pretty dang exciting as well. I think a lot of people, like 99% of individuals, are going to be impressed with what they see in the Cybertruck, and I think that's also going to be captivating, as well as just the look of the vehicle itself. Now, we're going to get into that here in this video. It's about a 2-minute long video. We're going to share that with you. Also, what's going to be happening this week? We do have some economic data coming out. That's going to be very important. The CPI report, number one, obviously that's a big deal, and that's going to drive a lot of the price action for this week. We're also going to get into all of your Tesla stock specific news, take a look at the option activity, all of that in this video. So let's get into it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for doing that. It's free 99. It costs you absolutely nothing to share this video, to promote this video to a bigger audience that needs to hear it. Very appreciative of all of you guys watching this video. So big shout out to you guys if you are. You're actively trying to better your life, your family's life, everyone you love, and everyone around you as well. So shout out to you guys, and let's go ahead and jump into it. So we are going to start with this video from inside the Cybertruck. This guy driving looks like an engineer that helped design and create the Cybertruck, so he's answering questions, and I want to take myself off the screen so you guys can get the full picture of what's going on here.
Is that like a Model 3? It's bigger than the Model 3, right?
This is huge.
This is bigger than
What is this?
This is the seat.
No, but it feels like stuff.
This? Wait, does it go back?
Can we-
This is vegan leather.
Is it
Okay,
leather?
let's notice that, like,
Vegan leather, I love it.
Did you hear
This
that?
is vegan leather.
glass.
Look at the lights behind us.
Here we go.
This thing is
I need this
massive.
video, man. Check out the bed.
Oh my
It's
God.
like all stainless steel back there.
It is stainless steel.
Oh wait, look, it looks like they see the writing.
Okay. And
I
wait,
want the
what is
Mustang
what
round.
is
I want to go down the Hawthorne Airport.
the rear view mirror is like video.
Wow. That is amazing.
We're just gonna hop out here on
My phone
Jack
is
Rush
dead.
Road. We'll do a 0 to 60 quickly here for you. Great. And the roof is glass. That's beautiful.
What's that? Is that like stone or what is it?
It is so beautiful. I'll take guesses. Everyone thinks it's quartz or marble.
Is it Titanic? No, it'd be too expensive.
So I'm so glad they did the camera view mirror, because I have my camera view up all the time and I don't use my
looks
mirrors.
like stone.
Junction.
Okay, yeah.
Woo!
Is this the triple
Oh my
motor?
gosh, that is
Wow.
This is just the double motor? Wow. Oh my god.
This is
Also
amazing.
like that one.
This
I like
is
that
fun.
Rear Zero.
So is it the triple motor version available first, or the double motor?
I'm not sure actually. I think we'll have that closer in production.
Okay.
These stupid glasses
So
on.
this one has the air suspension, so if we wanted to soak up all the bumps or have lots of ground clearance, we'll lift it, and then we'll...
It's
The
sweet.
adaptive one, like the new Raven Model
That's
S?
right, exactly. Okay, sweet. And then if we wanted to handle like a sports car, we lower the car, and then we stiffen the dampers as well. It's
I love it.
travel. If you look behind you, you can see the vault. So the reason why we did this is if the vault is closed with the tonneau, then you wouldn't be able to see out of the back.
Wow.
So this gives you a great view of everything behind us, no matter what.
So is it stainless steel in the dash as well?
It is not. No.
So everyone's trying to guess and you're not saying.
This is paper.
It's what?
Paper.
Paper.
Super lightweight.
Just curious, will the triple
It does
motor
not have
have
side mirrors, right?
Currently doesn't have side view mirrors, but I think as we get towards production, we work on improving lots of different
I
aspects.
hope they just leave it off.
Are you just going to use videos for this
Wait,
segment?
really important question. Is it going to have track mode?
So I think it's safe to say these people were pretty impressed, and it seems like we're getting a lot more details on the Cybertruck before it's launching here later this month. And a couple things I didn't even realize, well, I got answers to here in this video. What a captivating product all the way around. Taking a look at the option activity on Friday, you had 971 orders totaling $1.48 billion with a positive order value of 52%. Over the past week, as you know, it was a pretty rough week, especially that 6% down move on Thursday definitely skews these numbers quite a bit. But for the entirety of last week, you had 4,678 hedge fund and institutional option trades worth $9.99 billion with a positive order value of 36%. For the week ahead, the open interest is 48.77% calls and 51.23% puts, so slightly more puts, but pretty neutral overall. The volume on Friday was 54.86% to the call side and 45.14% to the put side. So Friday was a pretty good day. Tesla stock was up over 2%. So it's not a big surprise that you were slightly more bullish on Friday than you were over the past week or over the past couple of days leading into Friday. Taking a quick look at the bubble chart to give you a visual reference of where the option activity is for this week. As it usually is, most of the activity for Tesla options is within $10 or $15, higher or lower, whether you're looking at the puts or the calls. Not a big shocker. There's a lot of option activity at the 235 call, at the 215 call, at the 217.50 call, seeing a lot of activity, 63,000 for volume on Friday alone. The 205 put seeing about 38,000 for volume, and the 210 put had 52,000 for volume. What's a little bit more notable this week is you're getting some big bets for the 240 call that had volume of 11,000 on Friday with open interest of 22,000. But really that 250 call seen volume of 50,000 on Friday and 32,000 for open interest. When you see big volume on a strike that is far out the money with a week left to expiration, that's strange. I think you can call it that. That could mean someone is setting up for a big move to the upside in this upcoming week, but it's hard to tell if that's actually going to happen. Tesla continues to be the most shorted stock on the markets, accounting for over 2% of the entire stock market short interest. 3% of shares are currently sold short. The dollar amount sold short is $17.05 billion. And you do have shares that are sold short of about 81.19 million shares. That's another big reason why Tesla tends to have a very high beta. On good days, Tesla tends to do much better than the markets. On bad days, Tesla tends to do much worse than the markets because there's a lot of shorts, a lot of short activity around Tesla to the upside and to the downside. Like I said previously, Tesla's kind of in no man's land here. Your support level is going to be right here at about $200 per share, a psychological support level, although you are seeing a lot of demand really under 220 for Tesla. So right now you're seeing a lot of good demand for Tesla. You could see the wicks on these candles are all on the downside. You have seen downside pressure as of the last week, obviously, right? But it is getting bought up at the lows. So you're not closing at the lows, going lower the next day. You're seeing buyers coming in once Tesla hits that low of the day, and then you're closing towards the high of the day almost every single day. Now, if you get above your 200-day moving average in this week ahead at $220.87, that's going to be very good. I think it's really going to come down to a couple different things in which we'll look at here in just a moment, including the economic data like the CPI, like the retail sales, even the government spending plan that House Speaker, I don't know his name yet, just put out there that looks like is probably going to pass. These things are going to be the biggest factors that actually move the markets. We should also include that Moody's downgrade of the U.S. economy, and we'll see how that ultimately affects markets. But it can't be positive, but I'm not convinced it's going to be super negative at the same time. James over here on Twitter says, I don't want to hate on Tesla. I just don't understand what the thesis is going forward. All of the EV fans have bought vehicles. All of the gross margin now is a government subsidy. Owning an EV has way more headache than a normal ICE car. $25,000 car, how are they going to make any money on that? I just don't see it. Is there anyone who I can discuss this with who will have a rational argument / basis? It's always, well, they'll sell 10 million cars and make more money. They are making less money now from cars, and they still have $7,500 in government aid per car. How is that going to go up from there? Their employees make more money when the stock goes up. When it doesn't and trades sideways or down for a while, employees will change their tune. Well, Sawyer Merritt, provides this argument that this guy is looking for. Number one, the target market for EVs is everyone, not just tech / early EV fans. The market is not tapped out. EV adoption continues to press forward at a rapid pace, and he shares this kind of response to himself, and it is global EV sales hit record of 1.3 million in September of 2023. The historically strongest part of the year is now ahead of us, so it could get even better from here. Number two, Tesla is the only profitable EV maker, and they were making money before the IRA went into effect. They don't rely on government incentives to make money. Tesla's in-house innovations have enabled them to make money while others have struggled / lagged. 3, owning an EV actually has fewer headaches than owning an ICE car. No annoying oil changes, gas station visits, virtually zero maintenance. And with Tesla, mobile service vans can come to your house without you being there. If you have access to Tesla's supercharger network, finding a place to charge is not hard on the go. That's one of the gripes that I do have with Tesla so far. I live in Michigan. Not too many superchargers around, so you really do have to charge at home. But with time, that will obviously change. Number 4, Tesla will have multiple innovations, including their unboxed process, gigacastings, 4680 cells / LFP that will enable them to make class-leading margins on their cheaper $25,000 car. Prices of batteries are falling too, which helps. One last thing, in 2023, Tesla doesn't receive the $7,500 EV tax credit that goes to the buyer of the car. I mean, a lot was left out here. I get it. Sawyer Merritt just kind of wanted to point these things out. What about the energy storage business? What about FSD? What about robots? What about the Cybertruck coming? What about Tesla actually raising prices when rates come down? There's so many other arguments that you can make here that I think this is actually bullish. And this is why I wanted to bring this up. If this is really the thesis that investors have, some of them is this guy's thesis, you're going to make a lot of money investing in Tesla. Benchmark global weighted average battery cell price. Cell prices have fallen 27% year over year, and it looks like they're on course to continue to decline. And this is a look of, or an up-close look of the four-wheel steering of the Cybertruck. This should allow the Cybertruck to be very maneuverable, in which most vehicles are not going to be this agile or maneuverable or have a greater mobility level than other vehicles. And I mean, it's hard to tell how it truly compares to other four-wheel turning vehicles, but it looks pretty good from what I can see. A Tesla Cybertruck was spotted driving through New York City at night for the first time in over 2 years. It fits right in with the concrete, steel, and glass jungle that is New York, and I think that is the most accurate definition of New York that I've seen probably ever. ExxonMobil is set to unveil its long-awaited lithium strategy on Monday with an announcement that it aims to start production of the EV battery metal in Arkansas by 2026. This is actually great news, especially for Giga Texas and Fremont, because it takes a long time to get a lithium mine to a point where you're actually mining and producing a quantity or quality of lithium. It takes like 4 to 7 years from the start of construction on the mine or prepping the mine to actually pumping out some lithium. So the more commitments we get today means the more lithium we will have years down the line. That means the cheaper lithium will be and the more accessible it will be. As Sawyer Merritt says, these are how car crashes are reported in the media. If a non-Tesla driver crashes, the headline says car hits building. If a Tesla driver crashes, the headline says Tesla driver hits building. They almost always only include the make of the car when a Tesla is involved. And that's literally what you can see. And yeah, they always, it's just Tesla. Media loves to rag on Tesla. And I will make a prediction that this article from Business Insider is going to age very poorly. It says, the price war raging over electric cars could spell the end of Tesla. Let's just get any other automaker to actually make a profit on electric vehicles before we make a post like this or an article like this. Tesla is the only automaker that can afford to lower prices because they're highly profitable. Even at this stage, I believe Toyota and Tesla are like neck and neck with current levels of profitability. I mean, nobody can compete in the EV field, in the EV space itself. Tesla's still ahead of them by a large margin. And again, I would like to point out, I'm very confident that Tesla will be raising prices in 2024 as rates come down. The steeper the rate cuts, the more prices will go higher, as long as you don't go into this huge recession. But after all, Elon made it very clear. It's all about the monthly payment. If you're financing a $100,000 vehicle, a Model S or X, and it's $500 a month or $600 a month, okay, fine. If you're financing a $30,000 vehicle and it's $500 or $600 a month, fine. Nobody cares if it's a $100,000 car if you're paying $600 a month, or if it's a $30,000 car and you're paying $600 a month. That difference, well, theoretically, would go to Tesla. As long as your monthly payment is the same, the term of the loan is the same, nobody cares. At least that's what I got from the last earnings call. A quick look at the Google Trends data for the Model 3, Model Y, and the Cybertruck. You are seeing a slight downturn for search interest across all of these models, but this data is not exactly finalized, and you're still well above trend on where you have been. Even Q4 of 2022, which would be the comparable period to right now, you're still way higher in search trend activity than you were at this time last year. Global inventory numbers continue to decline across the board, but just slightly. The Model 3 is still very depressed, if you will, just sitting down here at about 1,300 vehicles globally that are available, which is strange. You're just not seeing any movement in the Model 3 whatsoever. And Tesla continues to run about 300 ads globally, about 90% of these for the US, the other 5%, 7% or so for Europe, and then the rest for Australia. In the week ahead, the first thing markets are probably going to react to on Monday is the fact that Moody's cut the US outlook to negative, citing deficits and political polarization. It's kind of like a stock where an analyst will give it a hold rating, a buy rating, a sell rating, so on and so forth. Moody's just changed their outlook to negative, whereas, if you will, the price target of the US did not exactly get cut. And that is the rating of government bonds is still at AAA. So what we've seen before, like the Fitch downgrade in August, well, they actually cut the rating itself of the bonds, of long-term government bonds, from AAA to AA. And back in 2011, the really bad downgrade that we've seen, well, they also lowered the rating from AAA to AA. So this is kind of a first for Moody's to actually cut the outlook to negative and not actually cut the rating of the bonds. It's kind of like, you know, an analyst taking a stock from a hold to a sell, but not changing the price target. It's negative, yes, but it's not as negative as it could be. So we want to see how markets react. I'm not certain it's going to be doom and gloomy, but Moody's is probably the most respected rating agency out there. So it could be a big deal, but there's no guarantees of that. The majority of the move that we are going to see this week is really going to come from economic data. So you're going to have Fed Cook that speaks at 8:50 a.m. on Monday, the monthly budget statement at 2 p.m. on Monday, and that's pretty much it. You do have some bond auctions. Those can also be important, but they're short-term ones, 3-month and 6-month bond auctions. You really want to watch the 10, 20, 30-year bond auctions. Those are the ones that are, you know, really hurting the markets as of lately, your long-term treasury auctions. Now, on Tuesday, you're going to have your CPI report. This is going to be by far the most important event that will move our markets, that will move Tesla stock. Now, core month over month is expected at 0.3%, the same as last month. So still remaining elevated. If you come in higher than 0.3%, yeah, the markets are not going to like that at all. Now, your core year over year is expected at 4.1%, the same as last month. So if that goes higher, again, the markets are not going to like that. If you go lower, that's going to be great. Now you're expecting really good news for your headline, which is just, I mean, strange to be expecting so levels that are so high on core, but your headline is expected to be so good. So your month over month headline is expected at 0.1%. Last month, you came in at 0.4%. So you're expecting a big decline on your headline month over month, and your year over year headline is expected at 3.3%. Last month, it was 3.7%. So big declines across the board for headline, and sticky core is really the narrative of this week. If you can see core also come down, that would be very, very good. Following the CPI report, you're going to get Fed Barr that speaks at 10 a.m., Fed Mester at 11, and Fed Goolsbee at 12:45. I believe they are all voting members, so that is going to be important, what they say, especially in regards to that CPI report. Later on in the day at 6:50 p.m., you're going to get a lot of data out of Japan. And then at 9 p.m., you're going to get industrial production, retail sales, unemployment rate, so on and so forth out of China. And then on Wednesday, you're going to have your second biggest catalyst of this week, which is retail sales month over month at 8:30 in the morning. Remember this, slight weakening in the economy, good news. A recession, bad news. So if you start to get data that looks like we're heading into a recession, well, that's probably not going to be taken as good news for the markets. We've seen strange things happen. It's a possibility that the markets see recession and they get happy and excited, but you shouldn't be excited or happy if you see that, because eventually that means stocks will likely come down. Now, PPI month over month, you're expecting 0.1%. This is really going to, I don't think it's going to be an event at all. Retail sales is really what you want to be watching. And then you're going to get a bunch of Fed speakers, a lot of oil data, a 17-week bond auction coming out at 11:30 on Wednesday, and that's pretty much going to do it. Now on Thursday, you're going to get Philly Fed business conditions, Philly Fed capex, Philly Fed manufacturing, import prices, initial jobless claims, all kinds of data coming out Thursday. Really second-tier data. Your CPI report, your retail sales, that's going to be a lot more important. But a lot of individual data points as well will come out on Thursday. Fed Mester will speak at 8:30, Fed Barr at 7:10 a.m. And that's pretty much it for Thursday. A lot of Fed speakers, actually. Fed Williams at 9:25, Fed Barr again at 10:35. Kansas Fed Composite Index, Manufacturing Index, Fed Mester at noon. And that is going to do it for Thursday. And then for Friday, building permits for October. We want to see more building permits, right? We want to see signs that we're starting to build more houses. That's really the only thing that's going to get housing inflation down. There's just so much demand for housing. It's off the charts. We're building less houses today than we did in 1960 when the population was 160 million people. Now it's 340 million people, and probably tens of millions of, immigrants that have come over the past couple of years. That's also putting a lot of demand on housing as well. So that's not a problem that is going to be solved quickly. So that is going to do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Stay tuned to the channel for the video coming out later today. We're going to be giving a price prediction on Tesla. This is my estimate of where I think Tesla can go, to the upside, to the downside. Really, a lot of it's going to be based on how the data comes out. I'll also give you guys a preview of what I expect for the inflation report as well, coming out later next week on Tuesday, and how that could also affect Tesla stock. A bunch of other things we'll go over in that video as well. Just stay tuned to the channel at 9 p.m. for that one. You definitely don't want to miss it. If you guys would like to come trade with us in this new week ahead, link down below in the description of this video for the trading community. We would love to have you and welcome you with open arms. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.